And it looks like we are back. It's running fairly well. Little stuttery on stream though, which I don't necessarily like. Can check borderless window. Yep, okay. View, frame rate, custom. Let's hit it with a nice 120. Apply. Okay. Oh, that's so much better. It's so much better. All right, here we go. We're back in. It looks like in the first round we had Thomas had taken the first map. We do see Thomas coming out here on this Hazard, Reaper Torbjorn, Kiriko, and Juno comp here. Exodius having to use Fade there. Pokey getting a little bit low, but Samir able to find Grace lost there on the Tracer. The Torbjorn turret putting a lot of pressure on. We do see Exa going in as well, trying to go on for the dive. Not being able to really find a whole lot here as I look and see that the volume is kind of actually crazily, diabolically high for that. And my game volume is incredibly low. Ooh, sound effects. Crank that baby up, 60. Let's crank this up so you guys can hear the game. But we do see the other team, Champlain, over here coming in with a Cassidy, Kiriko, Juno, Doomfist, Tracer. Samir getting a little low. We do see that the punch there was pretty good. Exodius falling a little bit to the micro missiles there from the Juno. The excellent lock on and homing. The watch is kind of taking some damage in the front line, but with the sustain that Hazard has, we do see a nice headshot from Martian Bite onto Clove here, as Xe is going to go in here. It's now showing that card, just press control to get rid of it. The turret's going down. Thomas is going to have to back up here, and they will see the flip onto Champlain's side. For those who are just coming back, as I see the stream is starting to come out, there is a 2-minute delay, a 3-minute I believe. Whatever, there is a delay. The ult cancel! I think, nope, it still happened, it still goes off. It still goes off. We do see the ult coming out from both Samira and for Xe coming out there, but Charm does fall. Clove's going to fall as well. The Hainu coming out from Smugleaf here, trying to find someone on the wall. Going to go down immediately. They are able to LOS it. Xe kind of looking for something there. Fuad is on the point there with the Hazard. They are about to get the flip. We do see the Hazard ult is available for the side of Thomas. Xe coming in, trying to put Fuad into pressure. Is going to get half HP, but with that block, the Hazard ult coming out. The Bell will come out. It will save Martian, but it will not save Xe, as Exodus is going to go in the back, find a double kill. Excuse me. And Fuad getting a nice pick from the Smugleaf there. And now it's just going to be Charm. Charm is going to follow with a nice headshot from Samir, and Xe is going to be able to get out with the mobility that Doomfist has. Exodus will have this Death Blossom. We do also see the Kiriko Rush, the Kitsune Rush, and the Orbital Satellite Vector coming out for Pokey as well. On the side of Champlain, we do see Martian Bite does have this Kitsune Rush as well as the Satellite Vector of his own. Maybe Grace Lost can find a nice Pulse Bomb. Recall being forced out though. Taking decent off angles here. Exodus is going to go in. Pokey does find a nice pick on the Grace Lost, who was one from the Death Blossom. They almost get Xe low, but it gets cancelled out. Fuad going in the back line, trying to find Smugleaf, but not going to be able to find anyone as they are going to back out here. Point coming up at 89% and 90%. It's about to look like a game closer, but with a nice punch here, Exodus is going to find Xe a nice death blow, a nice just Reaper up close, a nice pulse bomb onto the turret for some reason. Isn't going to do a whole lot. Smugleaf's going to fall. We do see Gray go onto the point, just throw his body onto the point to try to make something happen, but it's not going to be enough as they do just press the ultimate buttons. And Thomas is going to take the first game away from Champlain, bringing the series 1-0. Unfortunately, had a little bit of technical difficulty, so we didn't get to see the first part, but we did get to see the second part here. A nice play from Samira here, hammering that turret putting in a lot of work. It's just a lot of pressure onto the Tracer specifically. I would have liked to have seen some swaps from Champlain, but maybe that's just what they wanted to play, what they're comfortable with, and that is fine. So let us update this. Maybe if it works. There we go. You gotta love first day technological issues, but we are back and we are here. Thomas is up 1 in the beginning of the series. And where did I leave off last time? I was talking about players. That's right. But we are going to see the new players. I do know I mentioned Exodus and Samira. They are the new DPS for the Thomas College B team, for Thomas College Red. We got to see some nice Reaper play from Exodus there, and Samira with some nice Torbjorn gameplay, of course. And we do see Clove on the support role. Looks like Clove was playing the Kiriko, I believe. Putting in some excellent healing alongside our returning players of Pokey and Fuad. That is right. They're the only two returning players for this semester. We do see Pokey on the support line playing Juno, doing some excellent work there alongside Clove, keeping the team alive. They even have matching Overwatch profile pictures right now from the new Phantom Thieves crossover. Any Persona fans out there would love this. And then Fuad, our main man, our resident player that usually plays Sombra a lot. That's right, he's the Sombra guy. Is on tank. That's right, he is on Hazard right now on tank, living up his dream of not playing Sombra. I say that like he doesn't always want to play Sombra, but he doesn't get a choice anymore. He's on tank. Followed by their coach, TC Johnny. Shout out to him, doing the coaching job. Coaching is tough, I know that. And for Champlain, Aqua, just so we go over their lineup, don't want their players to feel left out or anything. It's always fair, in my opinion, to go back and forth. You got to represent both teams on the stream, even if you might be a little biased towards one. We have Smugleaf and Bailey. No, it was actually Grey Sloths on DPS, but they made a swap. So for this next map, we are going to see Smugleaf and BaileyBot123 on the DPS. NECC is their tank, as you saw in the last game. That was their Doomfist. And then Martian Bite and Charm are going to be their support lineups. Again, wish we could have seen the first map. It was the Night Market, I believe is the name of that one. Don't know how that one went exactly, but we did get to see the server room one, and Thomas had a pretty clean fight. They did have the flip that happened at one point. It was pretty solid overall, though. They had some decent plays. I just think there needed to be more coordination, honestly, on both sides of the team in terms of coordinating a dive. Thomas did have some nice moments where they took off angles. You did see while one team was holding the high ground necessarily in that server room. I say high ground loosely here. Exodus was, or Exo, I'll just call him Exo for sure. That'd be nice. Exo was on the off angle as well on the other side of those stairs down the main hallway. And taking a nice off angle onto Xe, who was taking the front line. I feel like with the comp that Champlain was running, it kind of is suitable towards a more pseudo dive in a way. They do have that Tracer, they do have the Doomfist, a Kiriko who can get in there if needed with a nice TP Bell or something along those lines. They have the Speed Ring from the Juno. I just think there either needed to be more coordination or they need something to kind of prompt a dive. At least in the way that I had learned it, we had seen that a dive is best kicked off either just with a full dive, but usually you have something, whether it's an Ana hitting a sleep, an Ana hitting a nade, Ashe hitting a dynamite, or Widow getting a pick. Just something like that I feel like is a good signal for a dive. And with the comp that Champlain was running, even a little bit towards Thomas, as they also kind of had a pseudo dive in a way. Kind of hard to consider that a dive, but it still could be a dive. They don't really have anything to signal a dive. If I had $5 every time I said the word dive in the past minute, I'd be a rich man. But regardless, both teams still looking pretty good here. It is the first map, first game of the season. Probably a lot of nerves, a lot of jitters, a lot of just things that are trying to be worked on. We are going to the next map. Map pick and first ban, I guess. And so far, it looks like Saravasa might be the choice, but could be something else. As I don't know the lineup anymore. I don't know exactly what the map order is. But currently, that is just, we're just waiting. Just doing a bunch of waiting. I see the chat going crazy a little bit. Lock in, what are you doing here, bruh? That's what I'm saying. We love Mars. Bro's gotta lock in. He's got a game to play. The somber guy. Okay, but he can't chat between team fights. SMH? No, not allowed. Get out of here. Someone ban this guy. Time him out. Wait till he's done with the game. What Azakita said. This guy is not focused. That's what I'm saying. Bro's gotta lock in. You can't pull a Jared Classic, the Aura Hitter Classic, where you alt tab in the middle of a team fight and your tank dies when you're the main healer, all because you had to change your Spotify song. Reporting this to Johnny. Real. Tell him his player's not focused. Like, come on, bro. Someone's gonna take your spot. Who? I don't know. But someone's gonna. They're talking on League OS. Alright, looks like we don't even get to see the bands. I would love to see the bands. But we aren't getting to see the bands. This is awesome. This is lovely. I love when I can't see things. And can't tell my chat anything about what's happening. Forced to play LOL. Drop from Overwatch, forced to play LOL. I mean, to be fair, who's to say which one's better, which one's worse? Especially if Fuwad's the one playing. I don't know. I really don't know. Yumi Duty? I don't even know if bro could pull off Yumi Duty. I don't even know, bro. That requires some reaction time. You gotta press E before they get hit with an ability. I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if he can. I just don't know. Might be a little tough for the guy. He's a summer player after all. And yes, I know. We're making fun of the Fuad, the tank player, but it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. Said Fuad to Valorant? Oh, hell nah. I'd pay him not to play Valorant. Exactly what I said. Oh, we love Mars. Oh my gosh. That would be something. It looks like we are going into Saravasa. I have not seen the map change yet. I haven't seen it change yet, so it looks like we are going to be seeing a... What is this called? Flashpoint? Bro, bro, what is everyone doing in the chat? We need to move on, bro. We need to focus on the game. We are seeing Thomas College Red is ready for the next round. It looks like Champlain is still deciding on some things. Again, to specify, they do have a substitution. Gray Slots is no longer on DPS for this next round. We will be seeing Bailey Bot 1, 2, 3 as we go into Saravasa Flashpoint for the next round. After a nice good old break.
Initiating match.
Oh my gosh, is that the GOAT Aquilian in my stream? I'm famous now. Alright guys, lock in. Get out of the chat. Get out of the chat. Banging music here. It's great. I'm curious to see what both teams going to come out on, but I imagine we're going to be seeing something similar. Maybe they just will have something different instead of the Tracer. But I imagine for Thomas we will be seeing that Hazard Reaper Torb.
Ready for battle.
I lied. It's the exact same thing, except we are going to be seeing Fuad on a Zarya pick potentially, which I think is a little interesting. Other than that, though, we are seeing a pretty similar comp on the side of Champlain. It's just going to be Bailey Bot on the Venture here instead of that Tracer. We'll be seeing XC on that Doomfist and Smug on the Cassidy. Martian is back on the Kiriko and Charm this time on the Lucio instead of the Juno.
Initial flashpoint.
That's literally, I literally mentioned that, Aquilian. Like, don't be me, bro. Lock in. Get out of the stream. We will be seeing Champlain will get here first, though. They do have that speed and that mobility, unlike Thomas. They only have that speed ring once every, like, 14 seconds. Exodus kind of taking a nice off angle here, forced to use Fade to get away, though, to regroup with Fuwan on the front line. The turret going down. Smear kind of putting in a lot of poke. Exo almost gets a pick. Pokey finds Smugleaf, though. A nice, excellent pick off rip. We do see Bailey going in here a little bit, trying to get some poke damage. Fuad going to be charged up on this objective here. Let's get a POV of him going in. Bailey Bot's going to fall. No DPS for the side of Champlain on the objective. The turret's going down. They do find Charm. It's going to be Martian Bite next, and then Exy is going to be the one who falls immediately after that. Thomas getting control of this first point. And then it's going to be Champlain coming back to try to recontest. EXO kind of putting in a lot of work here. I mean, look at his ult charge in comparison to the rest. I mean, Charm is kind of coming up here at 51%, but EXO is 73% ult charge. We do see him coming, Xe coming in, finding a lot of good damage with a charge punch. Fuad gonna be 1 HP, EXO gonna fall in the backline. Clove in the middle of the enemy team. They do find a pick on the Bailey, but with only 2 members left, Fuad is going to fall, and Samir probably not far behind, as it's a Doomfist. I mean, bro's mobile as heck. W warm-up, we love Mars. W warm-up. They do get the flip here. Champlain gonna start ticking up their percentage with Thomas at 64%. Champlain able to kind of start getting the ball rolling here. They do have a beat coming up soon on the Lucio on Charm. EXO here, they're going in with the bubble. Oh, unfortunate timing. The plan was there, but it looks like the button was not pressed soon enough. Charm is going to fall. They do find a trade 1-for-1. That beat not going to be available, but the Doomfist here is still going to have that ult charge. Pokey here. Clove falling as well. Fuad's going to fall, and it looks like it's going to be 58% and climbing, as Thomas College only has Samira left on the line, is not letting them just pick her off just a bit. So it's going to be a little bit of a stagger here. Kind of unfortunate here, as the Torbjorn ult, the Molten Core, is coming up for Samira. But it looks like Thomas here is not going to opt for a touch. Maybe they will with EXO TPing. Yep, EXO does TP there. You can see it waiting. The rush coming out from Martian here as it goes on to the point here. Xe falling a little bit low. Venture going in here a little bit. They do have the excavation coming out. Clove's going to be forced to TP here. The Doofus coming out, finding Samir, getting a nice pick. They do use 3 ults for the side of Champlain in comparison to Thomas's 1 ult. Xe is almost 1 HP. They do use 4 ults on the side of Champlain to secure this objective. And even though it was pretty much guaranteed to be theirs without the use of those ults, then they still use the 4 ults, now only having this Lucio beat. I would type if I could, but 1, ban Fuad. I'm the streamer, what I say goes. Ban Fuad, get that guy out of here. But regardless, they do have the Lucio beat here, possibly in response to a Zarya grab from Fuad here. They do have both support ults here. My guess would be to go in with the Kitsune Rush, probably is what I would do. EXO falling a little bit low, no bubble, no rush. Clove coming out, even though the fight's kind of lost already. They lost a lot of their frontline pressure, so the rush is coming out at a really bad time. The Doomfist knocking Clove off of the edge there. Clove not wall climbing like they can with that ability. Fuad going to fall, and now, even though they use the Kitsune Rush, Champlain is going to be the first one to get point control here on Flashpoint. I want to see Thomas here kind of work on something. The speedering coming out a little early from Pokey. I feel like it wasn't necessarily needed there, as it's Flashpoint, very quick game mode. What they need here is to speed ring in with the Fuad and this. Oh. That's just not good. That's just not good. Clove and Samir still in the objective here, trying to fight a 2v4, even though their tank got knocked off. We could see the thing, Pokey coming out with the ult, maybe not realizing that Fuad was off the map just yet. Xe did kind of have a little accident in falling off himself. But here we are going to be seeing if they're going to probably recontest. I think they should. I think they really need to make something happen. EXO kind of going in on the objective here is going to be a little off the point. They do have the beat coming out. Bailey's going to jump off the map, I guess. But EXO and Clove are both going to fall. Fuad at 100% charge, but with only the 1 support alive getting pressured in the backline, it's not going to be enough, as Pokey is just going to fall. And it's going to be 2-0 already for the side of Champlain into Thomas College. There's one more Flashpoint. It looks like it's either... It looks like it's this Lakeside View one. Lakeside, Oceanside, I don't know what it is. It's water. It's just water. Fuad on the Orisa now instead of the Zarya, I think is not a bad pick. A little bit of more self-sustain, almost in a way. Being able to displace the comp that Champlain has. Champlain is coming up on 3 ultimates here. XC is going in the back line. Bailey Bot finding a nice right click onto EXO, getting him off the map. Thomas just needs to just get out and live to fight again. They are trying to do that, but without the Lucio speed and without the mobility, they are going to fall behind. They are going to try to look for some more picks here. Pokey is 1 HP. They're going to look for it. Samira falling a little too. Fuwadi on fall half HP. They're looking for these picks. It's going to be an excellent stagger onto Pokey there with a nice punch there from Exy. It's going to be a little close. They are going to go in here. They're all falling a little bit low. They don't have any supports, and they need to back out right now or it's going to be worse. EXO hitting an ult. They do find 3 picks actually off of that over aggression from Champlain, and now it's just going to be Martian and Exy on the objective here. Thomas is going to go in. A nice TP from EXO is going to go on there. They're at 44%. If Champlain is smart, they will just opt to back out here and not lose any more members. But they do find Martian with a beautiful spear and follow up by EXO, and it's going to be the point flip for Thomas on Suravasa, 11% and climbing to 52. This is exactly what Thomas needs. They needed to make a swap. They needed to kind of punish the over-aggression there, and that's exactly what they did. The amp coming out from Charm. Samira's turret's going to fall. They don't have that pressure with the Torb anymore. An excellent punch, and here comes the excavation from BaileyBot. Is going to find one with a follow-up and Exy. The dig coming out immediately pretty quickly. It's just going to be Pokey on the sideline, absolutely about to get jumped. Fuad and Samira are going to fall, and the rest of the members of Thomas are going to try to escape with their lives. Bailey's chasing Pokey down, unable to find that pick, and now we're at 62% for Champlain, and it looks like it's going to be a close one. Thomas is going to have one more fight here. They are bringing almost 4 ults into this final fight, but we will be seeing pretty much the same for Champlain. The rush coming out from Clove early on to get on the objective is really good. We do see Samira coming on, trying to just cover the point with that ultimate. It's going to work. Clove is going to fall, though. They do find Smug and Martian. It's a 2-for-2 trade, a DPS and support. But Bailey in the backline is going to find Pokey. That's no supports for the side of Thomas. The turret going to go down. Exy is going to have this ultimate. They just can use it free will. Fuad with the ultimate isn't going to find anyone. Charm falling 1 HP. Needs to just try to live. EXO trying to find another pick. Isn't going to find it. And with no fade, no survivability, and no supports, it looks like Champlain is going to take Suravasa from Thomas College, bringing this series 1-1. I like the swap up there that they did with the Orisa. I think the Orisa was a really good swap for the side of Thomas. That was a jump scare, holy moly. I think it was really good. And I think the Doomfist especially played really well on the objectives there, as you saw with the ledges on the sides. So the swaps that Champlain made were very good. I think Thomas needed to make either different plays or a swap or something. I'm not an expert. I couldn't tell you because I'd have a hard time. When it comes to a comp that Champlain was running, I'd also have a hard time swapping it up. It's really tough because part of me wants stop yawning. Damn. Part of me would want a Sombra for my comp. Part of me would instead want a Brig, a Vico Moira, just something else for self-sustain. But then again, that's in a completely different setting, usually. In a team setting, there's a lot of things you can do, even if it's simply just like swapping up the way you play. But it's 1-1. We still got a lot more series to see, and I'm excited to see what happens. So, while they get ready for this next match, I will leave you guys with a little bit of music, as I am going to totally not just eat my burger that I have. Okay. 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 Done eating the burger. Well, I'm not done with the burger, but I have to be for now because we are going to Esperanza next. Push is the next game mode here. There have been no swaps for either team. So it's going to be probably roughly the same composition that we've seen from both. Champlain seems to favor this Doomfist a lot. And Thomas kind of going map dependent. I feel like they're probably going to go to a Hazard here if I had to guess. Maybe the Orisa if it's really an issue. But I would like to see the Fuad Hazard a little more personally, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Beautiful. And as soon as I say they seem to love running the Doomfist on the side of Champlain, they swap it up and instead are running the Sojourn Hog, of all things. Hog has seen a few changes in more recent patches, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't really check those anymore. But I do know that he was getting some changes at some point, and that could have been now. Sojourn, just a constantly consistent pick overall, and the Venture had a lot of impact in the previous round, so it doesn't surprise me that they are running it yet again. Seems like that's Bailey's kind of specialty. Thomas swapping off the Torbjorn and opting for a Bastion here, which I think is fine. Samira kind of been playing the Bastion a lot as well as the Tor, but the hook onto Samira immediately. She is going to be able to live. The bell coming out, Samira finding Bailey bot, which is beautiful. It's going to put that Venture out of commission. Fuad here going on to Charm. Xe is going to follow as well. They have a lot of frontline pressure with Thomas's comp, and they will get the push moving on here as we see one swap for the side of Champlain. Exo trying to chase after this Kiriko, but the Kiriko does have that TP, and it goes pretty far. So the swap onto the Cassidy here for Champlain. Gonna offer a little bit more of that long range, but Samira immediately getting picked off. Or not Samira, Samira immediately picking off Bailey is going to put them already at a disadvantage as they don't have someone to go on the back line and kind of find a lot of pressure. A hook coming out will find Clove though. They are able to find Charm with a nice wall from Fuad. Samira going in with an ult. The bell coming out. They do find Exo with a nice right click it looks like, but Smugleave kind of out of position trying to stop them before the checkpoint. Pokey falling a little bit low here. They are going to be able to kind of get this checkpoint and continue the move on. Thomas looking pretty good here on this Bastion and Hazard. Hook coming out from Xe onto Fuad, getting him half HP, but the damage mitigation and stuff from the Hazard ability, I don't know what it's called exactly. The Reaper coming in, no hook, no fade though, and equal trade of abilities. As we do see Bailey trying to find a pick there. The wall kind of preventing them from being able to walk out is actually kind of nice, as now the Bastion turret form is going to force them to kind of rotate, and they just kind of get a little bit of free push. Every single member is trapped inside there. Fuad could have a really good ult here as it's about to come out. The ult cancel though, the hook onto Fuad. Absolutely disgusting, but a nice wall from Fuad yet again is going to kind of put them in a position where it's hard to pressure them as they have to walk out into a lot of that. They do find Clove on the side of Thomas, but with Exo trying to pressuring Xe even with the hook there, Thomas is going to come out on top of that trade and be able to keep the push going. Halfway to the final point here, 4 ults in the bag. We do see Martian swapping over to this Zenyatta. They are going to have very little healing for the side of Champlain here, but with the survivability that most of these characters have for the side of Champlain, it's not going to be as much of an issue, whereas it could be if it was a comp like Thomas. They are opting for more damage instead of survivability, which I think is fine. Clove getting picked off. Thomas just needs to opt for a full reset, back out, get out, do what you can to survive. Weak contest here at the middle and figure it out. We do see 3 ults for the side of Champlain here. They do have a lot of influential ults. The Hog ult, they do have the Venture ult, and Exo getting picked down immediately kind of makes it a little bit Less likely that they'll use ults, but with the trade on Bailey bot, the High Noon is going to come out for Smug. We'll find Clove, and with that, it should be a wrap-up, but we could be seeing some more ults being pushed if the composition or if it just gets to that point. Fuad almost to another hazard ult is going to be able to make something happen, maybe just a little bit. Has to wait for the hook to come out. Here it comes out. We do see it hit Charm. Charm's going to fall. Charm is the only one that gets hit by it, but it's enough as Martian's also out of position now. Samira finding a nice triple kill with the assist from Fuad onto Charm. The hazard ult put in a lot of work. Samira, the third ult of the game. Samira's Bastion's kind of going insane. Going after the Venture isn't going to find anything. That mobility on that character is kind of disgusting sometimes. But Samira on the Bastion, I want to get a little bit of gameplay look onto this. Bastion just kind of a oppressive character sometimes. We do see Xe switch into the Malga, and without any protection, we do see the Satellite Vector coming out as well. A little bit of an interesting choice there by Pokey. Using that when they're down one, especially the Bastion. The Bastion would be huge coming into that. They do have the Transcendence that comes out immediately, and they should probably take this chance to reset, especially with Bailey getting in there. They need to try to get out and reset or just die on this objective, but it looks like Xe is going to be able to chase them down. Finds effect on the XO, and Fuad is going to fall shortly after. Thomas does have a lot of potential with this comp, I think. The swap onto Malgas kind of working better than it was for the playing of Hog. Smugleaf's able to put a lot more ranged pressure onto Thomas College here. It almost has another High Noon. We're gonna have to see what happens here as the objective is finally starting to push for Champlain. EXO kind of putting a little bit of pressure on that corner here as Xe is taking this high ground with Charm. But what they could do here is just do a full rush into the backline as Martian kind of has no control. The rush? There was a rush by Clove. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the rush there. I don't know if Clove was in front of the bot wall, but there just was no Kitsune rush for Thomas College, which is exactly what they needed in order to push forward. But now with another High Noon from Smugleaf, it's going to put Thomas in a precarious position a little bit, as they do have this first checkpoint for Champlain, and Thomas is going to have to try to make something happen. We do see a few different ults. EXO already being used, having already used Fade, is going to make it a little harder. EXO taking a lot of frontline aggression here is going to make it really tough, but the TP into the Death Blossom is going to get countered by the B. EXO's not going to be able to get out either. The Cage coming out, finding Samira and Fuad, and they're not going to be able to get in there. Clove's not getting in there, but the Excavation as well is going to make it really hard for anyone to step in, and it's just another team wipe for Champlain onto Thomas here, as they do use 3 ults, but Thomas only using the Feeper. Kind of crazy mix-up of words is that. Using the Reaper ultimate. Kind of a good trade. They do have this Transcendence though for defense, which is going to make things pretty difficult. A nice TP from EXO, finding Smugleaf on that backline, but they do see Bailey. They should turn and look at Bailey here with nothing to get out. They do find Charm going in there. Now with the Bastion ult coming in here, the artillery, Bailey is going to fall. Martian's going to get picked off. They don't use any of that hazard ultimate, and they don't use any of the Transcendence, which is good for Champlain, but now they're going to have to get their push going, and as long as Thomas can kind of keep it towards Champlain's side, they will be all set. They just need to not get picked off early. They need to find a beautiful pick onto some of the backline, and hopefully find some excellent picks like EXO has been doing. It is the caster curse. That's how it goes. Because they could just be in a stalemate here. Pokey is going to fall a little bit low. The hazard ult coming out. They do find a couple, but the Transcendence coming out from that is going to be pretty good. Clove falling 1 HP. Pokey needs to heal Clove. They do find Xe as a tank trade, but with both supports down for the side of Thomas, is going to make them hard to sustain any more than what they have. So what they should do, especially now that they find the pick on Bailey, Fuad's going to fall here 100%. Falling a little bit too low. EXO in the backline, maybe trying to make something happen, but the pressure is just a little too much. Samira, though, finding excellent picks. Watch, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Watch, it's going to happen. Right there. They're going to chase Samira down. Samira is going to fall. Thomas did have a decent amount of push there, so it's not like they're going to lose the lead. Only a minute left. Thomas coming up on 4 ultimates. Meanwhile, Champlain only having the 1. Only the 1. They're at a good spot to recontest. Now with the wall coming out and Bell coming out, Clove kind of forced to use a lot of abilities for no reason, if you ask me. Fuad coming in, able to find a pick on the Bailey, kind of punishing that aggression, and now they're in a good spot, and they can just kind of push the objective back. Exo here, trying to go in there, find something to happen. They do find Charm. There shouldn't be a need for any Death Blossom or anything. Pokey is going to follow Smug on that off angle, and the height is going to cause a lot of issues. 30 seconds left on the clock. Champlain does still have this close spawn. Thomas, yep, needs to do that exact thing. The rush coming out, Clove is going to fall. They do see Marsha coming out as well. They are going to see Exy is going to fall as well. Samir with the turret form as well, going to put a lot of damage onto their front line. Charm's going to fall. They don't see Smugleaf behind, though. Oh, Fuad. Oh, but it runs out, so he doesn't die. It's fine. Now Fuad's going to be able to go on to Smugleaf here. They do find the pick. They aren't pushing the bot at all, and Thomas is going to take Esperanza from Champlain, thus bringing it 2-1.
Play of the game.
Here we go. We get to see some of the Samira bashing gameplay that I was kind of talking up a little bit. I mean, Bastion is just so oppressive in the right situations, I feel. And here we do see Samira taking a W play, going after the backline, winning the 1v1, as we saw in the kill feed, at least. And Thomas, I believe, is at match point now, which we love to see. We absolutely love to see when our home team is at... What is it? When the team that you're rooting for is in the lead. Other than that, though, we have at least one more match, or one more round until it is game. Make sure, y'all, I'm going to let you know now, stick around for the next game, which is going to be Thomas College Black, the A team against Boston University. I believe there's been a few changes on that team as well, but I am still unsure as we haven't yet to see it. But we should be able to get to see it soon. I'm going to leave you all with some music, yet again, as I want to eat more of my burger. We will be right back. I typed prod R in the wrong one. Anyway, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. I have finished my burger, but they are also getting ready to play a game. This burger will be the downfall of Thomas College Esports. Well, if the burger is anything to say about the series, it's pretty damn good. That's all I'm saying. Finished the burger. They've picked their map. I don't know what their bans were because they did it in a different client, which respect. I mean, I can't really be mad, but as a spectator, and like a caster, I want to be able to tell you people, tell you guys and girls and other people what bans there have been. But we have no bans. So instead, we're just going to go straight to the map. It's going to be Rialto. Excuse me. And it looks like we are going to be seeing gray sloths back in. And to answer your question, Bet Obama, the burger was a Five Guys burger. That's right. Fast food for the win when it's late at night and I just got off work with like an hour. Bro, listen, I swear I'm cleaning the mouse before I touch it. I mean, my hands. All right? Listen, I get it. I will personally hand clean it if that's the case. I understand the pain. Because I hate when my own mouse is like that due to my own faults. But no, it's a Five Guys burger, bacon cheeseburger, mayo, ketchup, lettuce. There you go, Obama. That's the burger order. That's the burger order. Erol. Look at this guy try to spell. Erol. That's funny. It looks like there's something else going on that's causing them to not go into the game immediately, which kind of sucks, as I'm also trying to get to the Thomas College A team's game before too long. So we need to wrap this up, guys. We need to get her going. Surely they get going immediately, or soon, or something. We will be seeing Gray Sloss back in, greasing up the mouse so it's extra easy to flick. It's a strat. Listen to this guy. Listen to this person. That is not a real strat, to my knowledge. It just sounds gross. So I don't know why you would want to do that. It just would look gross. But regardless, you know what is going to be gross? This next game. That's right. We're going in. Both teams have readied up. We are going to Rialto. Looks like Thomas going to be on the attack first. With Champlain being on the defense. Hopefully we make something happen here. But who knows? Champlain could lock in, as one would say. I'm excited to see what both teams run. That's exactly what I was thinking. My goodness, it's almost like nothing changes. It's almost like teams run the same comp most of the time. Which, I mean, is fair. If it works, don't hate on it. But, you know, a little bit of difference every now and then is alright. I wonder if X is going to go for some off-the-map shenanigans at first. Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah. You don't hit those. You don't break those unless you're going for some goofy off-the-map shenanigans. Oh my goodness. Surely they see this. Surely they see this.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Clever tech there by Xe. The turret immediately falling that Exo has placed down. They don't see it. But Exo fails! Almost falls off the map. The turret from coming out from Samira. Just going to shoot into the Doomfist here. It's fine though. They are going to be at this corner yet again. Charm falling a little bit low here, but the poke is going to be just unable to be enough. The Soldier, though, putting in a lot of pressure here on this high ground. Fuwon going on a nice dive, though, forcing out the Soldier and slide as a Smug is going to have to fall back now. Unable to keep that height. They're kind of just contesting each other here. Thomas a little bit too afraid to walk up, maybe trying to look for a pick. They do find Gray Slots and Charm. Exo is going to fall, unfortunately. doing the soldier and pressure, but Samir able to find a pick on the Martian, and now it should be Thomas able to walk forward and get a lot more space. No onion, wasn't feeling the onion today. But just like an onion, this game has many layers to it that we try to delve deep into every time we watch them play. Go on here going on an off angle, trying to peel away the layers of the team that is Champlain. Gray's last going to fall a little bit low. I believe no recall anymore, which is going to be a little bit painful here as this Torp turret is going to be putting on a lot of pressure onto Gray. But Exo not really going to get any support there, is going to fall, and now it's a 4v5 for the side of Thomas into Champlain. The wall a little bit goofy there from Fuad, but that's how it happens. Actually trying to go on this back line. They are going on to a counter dive. Xy's going to block, trying to get into LOS of the healers. Is going to be able to do that. Smugleaf putting a lot of damage. Got the hiccups now. Samir does have this ultimate, but Xy is going to be on their booty cheeks and is going to get Samir out of the fight. Here we do see the beat coming out from Charm as well, and the overclock. A lot of ults coming out, but Exo is going to find XC and is going to find Gray as well. Wait a minute. They are pretty mobile champs. Charm falling 1 HP. Thomas might be able to make something happen here. Thomas does have 5 ults here in exchange for the 2 that Champlain has. We do see Samir coming out with the ult and the Kitsune rush. We need to see no more ults, preferably from the side of Thomas here, but Fuwadi is going to prove me wrong and get a double with that ult. The pulse coming out from Gray, and it just needs to be Champlain just needs to kind of just back up. I don't know if they'll be able to contest this. The Tracer Doomfist, it looks like they may not contest it at all, as Xy is trying to get out 1 HP. We do see that the Gray is recalling on the back line. And is trying to look for these off angles as much as possible, but there's so much pressure coming out from the team of Thomas College and their picks. Samir going to fall 1 HP, is going to get picked off though. A nice right click from Soldier, and the railgun is going to be too much to handle. Clove probably going to fall here soon, but with Pokey and Clove kind of healing each other, they're able to sustain a bit. And it's just going to be Thomas here just trying to play the poke game, trying not to fall like that, like Exo just did. W skin, by the way. And now Thomas is just going to be trying to look for picks where they can. Clove kind of using these bells a little bit early, if you ask me. I say that just merely as someone who played a lot of support in these competitive settings. The Satellite Vector coming out from Pokey, going to be allowing them to walk forward, but the counter rush there from Martian is going to make it hard for them to kind of walk forward. They do lose Pokey, and Clove. No support to the side of Thomas. They just need to reset now. Gray falling off the map. I think that's the 3rd time this series we've seen that. And a beat coming out from Charm. Questionable decisions on ult usage overall. But Thomas still on the back foot. Clove's going to fall now. Fuad kind of going in the opposite direction of the spawn room doors that provide safety and immunity. Falling 1 HP. The door's right there, bro. Walk in. The door's right there! And now Thomas is finally able to regroup and walk forward. Here comes the Hazard Ultimate off rip. Charm getting found. Xy as well. The Bastion ult coming out. They do find 2. Samira, though, and Fuwada both going to fall. The rush coming out from Clove, though. A little bit ambitious, but Exodus fighting Smugleaf needs to look at Xy. Xy 1 HP, no supports. They are able to find Xy. Clove is going to fall, and Exo just absolutely going crazy. Wait a minute, the Torb might be going crazy. Yet again, it might just be going crazy. Torb putting on an absolute clinic right now. Claps lock is on and off. Me and my big old fingers. And now Thomas is going to be able to finally come around this corner. They only are coming up on the Satellite Vector. Xy does have this ability, this Doomfist ultimate, which he is going to use. Find Clove with no immunity there. They do find Charm early on in the fight, but with only the 1 support, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to sustain here. X is going to fall to Gray, and Thomas is going to be on the back foot here. They do have a minute left on the clock. They just need to reset. They are able to get out, or at least Pokey is, and that is all that they need, is to be able to... what is it? Recontest. Fuwad on the Sigma. Pulling out the cargo tokens cosplay. Oh my goodness. That is not who I tried to spectate. I love Overwatch. Exodus teaching Xe that there's no I in team. Friendship is magic, guys. That is so real. The Satellite Vector coming out from Pokey there, but the rest of the backline is falling. Fuad with a nice rock there. The pulse on the wall isn't going to find anyone except Fuad's shield. We're going to keep specking Fuad here. Pokey 1 HP is going to fall on the backline, and now it's just him. They're forcing him to use the rush. The rush coming out does find the rock onto one. The Sut coming out, I don't even know what the ability is called. Does have a lot of overhealth, but I don't think it's going to be enough as there's only 2 seconds left. Someone needs to get on the objective and touch, otherwise overtime's not going to proc, and that's exactly what's going to happen. But overall, a solid push for the side of Thomas College. About halfway through the map, which is going to make it relatively tough to a degree for Champlain. They're not just going to be able to walk all over Thomas here, and it will take time, but that is fine. The comps here coming out on defense for Thomas is going to be the same as the final little bit of attack that we saw with Fuad on the Sigma. Samir and Exo still opting to stick on this Bastion Torbjorn, which I think is a perfectly fine pick overall, because it puts a lot of pressure on to Grey Sloths. The turret as well, putting in a lot of pressure on just anyone with an LOS of it if they don't get rid of it immediately. They have been doing a good job, Champlain that is, of shredding Exo's turret when they see it, which kind of alleviates that pressure a little bit. What is Clove doing? Walking back, thankfully. Okay. So now it's just going to be a battle of which is better, the poke or the dive. Gray immediately going on an off angle, kind of waiting. They don't notice. Okay, Samir has noticed Gray on the sideline. No block for Xe, the turret putting in a lot of pressure. Smug is going to find the pick onto that turret, though. Getting a decent amount of forward walking pressure. Holy moly. Gray immediately following, though. An excellent charge punch, though, from Xe is going to push back the rest of Thomas and get them 1 HP, but with no follow-up there, they are going to push back and force Champlain into spawn, which I think is really good, obviously. So, we do see Clove get picked off there. That is unfortunate. A beautiful shot from Smug finding Pokey as well. That's just no support for Thomas. They just need to go in and die fighting, because there's no way they come back from that. If you just lose your supports, unless you absolutely go crazy nuclear, then I mean, not a whole lot you can do. Oh, we can see stats! Holy moly, we can see stats! Not that it's really that necessary. Champlain opting to take a forward objective here. Somebody is shooting Xe way too much, if we're being honest. The amount of times this man has had a charged punch has been diabolical. Martian and Clove, they trade Kiriko's, but opting for a punch there. They do find Charm. No supports for either team. The point, though, not pushing, which I think is a W call. Samir is going to fall, and now it's just Fuad and Exo in the front line. Xe's going to die, but so is Exo. Now it's just Fuad by himself. He's going to try to back up. It is a 1v2. Champlain probably not going to be able to do a whole lot here as both teams kind of get back at the same time. They need to stay on this cart, though, because if they let them get this checkpoint here, it's going to be a little bit rough. Early rock from Fuad there is going to make things a little rough later on. Pulse coming in, not finding anyone, and Gray going to fall as well as Martian. Beautiful timing by Samira, waiting for that bell, spacing them out. Fuad going to find Smug, Leaf, and Charm. And now it's just going to be Xe who's just going to be forced to punch out. And Thomas manages to hold on right before the final checkpoint with 1.5 minutes on the clock. When we look at ult economy here for both teams, it's going to be... Smug Leaf does have this overclock. We do see a beat for Charm as well as a Kitsune rush from Martian coming up on the side of Champlain. EXO with this Torbjorn ult is going to be really nice. Clove 1 HP in the backline, going to get slammed and fall, and now it's just going to be poking the backline 1 HP, no support. We do see Samira going to fall as well with the, excuse me, overclock coming out from Smug. The B coming out as well from Charm. But a late flux from Fuwan is going to make them all have HP. Charm going to fall a little bit low. They do still have Pokey on the support there, but it's going to be a little rough. The punch getting cancelled by EXO. It is charged up. It's going to be a little rough there. It's going to get knocked back. The rush coming in from Clove is going to go back on point here. Gray's trying to go on the point, trying to find something to happen, but with XD falling as well for the side of Champlain. No slide for the side of EXO. EXO just running in there like a madman, blasting everybody down. It's just going to be Gray. 30 seconds left on the clock. Gray's going to fall. Now, all they have is this Kitsune rush on the side of Champlain, but they also have the Doomfist ultimate coming up as well. Samira with a Bastion ult coming up soon. Needs to build that ASAP. Kind of forward a little bit too much there if you ask me, but a nice shield charm is going to fall. Trying to go in for the touch a little bit too soon. Pokey with Satellite Vector is going to be beautiful. Samira just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Oh my goodness! The rock into the Doomfist forced him to be in the Bastion ultimate. And with that, Thomas College is just going to take the win. I believe. Should be the win. Should be best of 3. Should be best of 3. If I'm not crazy. Thomas should be taking the victory there. 3-1. As much as I would love to stick around and wait for this, I am going to have to go to the score real quick. Update this score. We're going to have to wrap this up because we're going to go into the next game pretty soon, if you ask me. Home score. It's going to be, I'll leave this up for just a second. Just a second. 3-1. Thomas Red is going to be the victors of this match. And we will be going into the next match here in a few minutes. I will be right back.